Hello. I think we're live.
You're going to have to bring more energy than that for the both of us, my guy.
Hey, man, we're live. Isn't it? What a great day. It is like 40 degrees out. It's finally cold. Life's a toilet. How you doing, Wood?
Life is a toilet. I am very sick. So I've told Bob that today he's going to have to do most of the talking for both of us.
Let me bring that wolf den energy that I always bring to the podcast.
Yeah, it's your show, man.
We have such an exciting show today. We're going to be talking about, oh no, you're not going to believe this, Nintendo Switch 2 rumors.
Oh.
Wow.
This one's good though. It's a good.
This one's wacky and wild, and we have pictures.
Yeah, this one's a real one. It's actually a real one, like legit. Also, I made the image of the thumbnail. Did you?
I saw
like
that.
it?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I can't believe you took two of your Switches and duct taped them together.
It actually took me some time to make that. I really wanted it to look good.
I have one criticism. Nintendo Switch 2D is what you called it.
Yeah. I wanted it to be a thinker, almost like a wait. And then you're like, well, what does that mean? And then click on it. I know it kind of didn't make sense, but two screens, you know.
Okay, all right. I understand. More to talk about. I slotted this in the last second. I want to talk about our brand new iPhones. We both got iPhones, so we can iMessage each other, and we can be on Find Friends, and we can always know where each other's is. I don't know what that is. Is that just sharing location? Yeah, it's a location share.
Oh, do you want to permanently share yours with me? I'd do it.
Also, we're going to talk about Twitch. You got the Lenovo Legion Go. I also got the Lenovo Legion Go. It's sitting in the box. I've been too busy. Haven't opened it.
Here, let me show him. Let me show him real quick.
Show him, because that's a weird and wacky. That just looks like a Switch. You're just showing us a Switch.
So this is the Lenovo Go, which is essentially a Switch. I had I don't want to call them Joy-Cons. I had these taken off. You can click them back on. Sorry, trying to focus it. I've been playing on this. Actually, I got sucked into Lies of P on this last night, and I played it for like 6 hours. So I have a lot to talk about on this thing. This is like a ROG Ally if it was a Switch.
I'm very interested. It has all of the internals of an ROG Ally. The biggest difference is the screen is
the screen is
absolutely massive. Yeah,
like it's insane. Once I turn this thing on, I'll grab my Switch or something. It's at least 2 inches bigger. It's crazy.
It's 8.8, and I think the ROG is 7, maybe.
It feels massive. It feels like I have a big tablet in my screen.
Yeah, it looks crazy, and the aspect ratio looks weird too. It might be 16:10 or something.
The resolutions, I don't know if it's 4K, but it's like
no, it's definitely
2500 by something. Like
it's 144 hertz, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think the ROG is 120 though. So
it's
all of that is
hertz.
All of that is crazy for a handheld. That is unnecessary. But all of the internals are the same as the ROG Ally. So I'm interested to see some benchmarking to see what the difference is, because I think the ROG Ally accomplishes a lot of stuff through firmware that they've developed over the past couple of months. And Lenovo has some stuff to work out. It just came out 2 days ago. So, and full disclosure, we both might be doing sponsorship. So
2560 by 1600. Sorry, I just wanted to get that right. And yeah, we're both maybe doing a sponsorship, which is a really weird situation.
2560 is 2560 by
1600.
Okay, that's what do you call it? That's QHD. That's around QHD. That's insane.
I think massive. The screen is called QHD.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that is.
It's 1440p. It's like in between 1080p and 4K.
Oh, God, I have a lot to say about it, but I don't want to get to that yet. We haven't even done the intro.
Oh, hold on. It's okay. god,
Dare-
the
dare
chat
I
was
even-
yelling to roll the intro.
They have our back. Dare I even mention this is the 5th episode in a row we're not in person.
5th. Does that
It's either
include the
4th or
Japan one?
5th.
Oh no,
It's been
No.
it's been a minute. It's been a while.
it's been a long time.
I'm dying this time is the reason why.
Yeah, we should book one. We should lock one in where we do that in person.
Yeah, we should do the next one if we can.
I wonder how, like, I'm sure people like it when we're in person because the energy is different, but I wonder how podcast listeners, I wonder which one they prefer.
Oh, I don't
feel
think
like
they mind.
I feel like the audio is probably better here.
Yeah, I get annoyed a little by the audio when we do it this way, just because I'm coming through your Discord and I don't like the way that sounds as much. But
Okay.
other than that, I doubt they care. It's probably the same to them. A lot of people like it when it's this way because there's no distractions.
Yeah,
'Cause we often get distracted by E, and
I just think the mics sound better. Like we're processed better.
although I
So
like
it's all like normalized.
and they like get involved in the conversation. Scoot's gone now. Scoot left.
Scoot's
He's in
gone.
California now. He's not part of the show.
He's
anymore,
not
so.
Ever coming
For all,
back.
for all you Scoot fans, we wanted to do a farewell Scoot episode, but he left so quickly we didn't have time.
We did?
Well, I don't know about a whole episode, but
I don't remember ever hearing about this.
We wanted to do one in person while he was here still, so we could
Yeah.
at least say goodbye. And
Yeah.
but no, he was like, "I'm going to California next week. Bye," and then he was gone.
Let's be real. He was in like what 20% of the episodes.
Yeah,
we
I
say
know.
he's like a staple of the podcast, but he,
I love
hasn't
Scooty.
been to a lot of them. Yeah, no, I'm gonna see him probably just as much as I've always seen him. So it's gonna be hard playing Valorant with him because he's on a different time now. We haven't
played
because
Valorant
he's been
for-
busy driving, but also now we're in different time zones, so that's gonna be rough to line up.
Jarvis Flip says, "Pour one out for the boy." Yes, may he rest in peace.
May he rest. All right, let's just dive into the what do you call this? Patent, the Nintendo patent that they did, and then we'll get into the Lenovo stuff. And I want to talk about my cool new iPhone. Nintendo patent application shows a dual screen system that can be split in two. So this is an article by GameSpot, but I'm going to open it and I'm going to click on this World Intellectual Property Organization link right here, and that opens up the actual patent like PDF. So we can see all of the cool drawings that they made. So here it is. It's looking like a big dub for Bob over here. It's looking like we're getting the little tiny, not so powerful little Nintendo handheld is what this looks like to me.
That's not what that is.
That's what I'm getting out of it.
What you wanted was a tiny baby boy that plays like the indie games and
This
stuff.
is
This'll
looking
play
like
everything.
a tiny baby boy. I don't know. So here it is. It from the original pictures, from the ones that I was looking at in the articles, it looks like it has 3 screens, but it doesn't. It has 2 screens. It's very bizarre. It's like
that bottom one looks like a Wii U pad.
I know, it's not pretty.
No, I don't like that empty space. It also looks like a DS because you got the big screen and the little screen, which I don't like. I like my mock-up version on the thumbnail of 2 big screens.
So what's interesting is it's like a DS because it's got 2 screens, but there's no hinge. So the way it works is there's this little connector thing here, and that's what connects the top tablet and the bottom tablet. They like slot into each other, so you can have it face up where it's closed, kind of like a folding phone that has the like a top screen. And then you can literally snap off the top screen, rotate it 180 degrees, and then snap it back on, and then you get the DS looking device.
I have 2 things I thought of immediately. The first one was, if this thing comes true and they make this, we're going to be finding so many half Switch 2s at garage sales because some crappy kid lost half their console.
Right.
The other thing I thought is this is exactly the wacky idea that Nintendo would do, and we were trying to think this whole time, like, where can they go from here? Where can they go from removable Joy-Cons? A removable second screen.
Where could they go to tank all of what they've built? Because this is going to be
you think this is a tank?
It's going to be too confusing for people.
It might be, but can you imagine like that whole concept of like taking off Joy-Cons and handing it to a player, then you have like 2 players that can play? Imagine handing a screen to someone and being like, okay, let's play 2-player, you get your own screen.
That is really cool. That is really cool. It takes the idea of the Nintendo Switch where you have 2 controllers at all times to hand off to somebody, and it takes it to the next level. You have a whole second device to give to somebody else.
Where's the Joy-Cons here? Where's the controller part?
It's on there, baby. So this is the bottom screen right here. They didn't show the layout of the buttons, but it looks like you're gonna have a thumbstick on the left side and probably some buttons on the right side. They did like a vague little drawing of where the buttons might be. The wackiest part about the buttons is that there are not 1, not 2, but 8 shoulder buttons.
Oh my god!
I have to try to find here it is, because you have 2 devices. You have the top one and the bottom one.
God.
So there's literally so the shoulder buttons are stacked like horizontal, and there's 2 sets of shoulder buttons. It's very insane looking.
That's a lot. So would you hold it like with 2 fingers up here? I guess so you could. Well, I guess you already do that.
I don't think all of the buttons will be functional for all of the games, if that makes it like I think that they're going to just repeat. They're just going to repeat functions. Like you take one whole device off to have it play multiplayer, so they'll probably just repeat themselves. So
I think it's worth noting that this is an official patent that Nintendo has licensed. That doesn't necessarily mean they are going to make this. They are licensing this patent.
Yeah, so we talk about this every time we talk about patents. It doesn't necessarily mean this is something that's going to happen, but it means that it's something that they've thought about and they've worked on to some capacity.
Yeah, it was an idea that they had, possibly most likely for the next Switch.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason why you would file a patent is because, like, if you're making it, if you're coming up with the idea, you got people in the room, you don't want anyone to steal it, so you file that patent just in case.
I'm trying to find it now. It's going to be hard, but I don't know if you remember. Oh, here it is. This was a leak when the Nintendo Switch, before it came out. Yeah, this is from March 2016. I don't know if you remember this one. This is what people thought the Nintendo Switch was going to look like.
Oh, yeah. Is that official by Nintendo?
Yes, this was a patent that Nintendo filed for what looks like a controller that is all screen. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember some of the early clickbait videos had this mock-up someone made of essentially that. It was like a Mario Kart being played on a screen that had the thumbsticks built into the screen. And like, it was so wacky. I'll see if I can find it. But like the gameplay went off where the thumbs were too. And people were like, why would you want that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Let me see if I can find it.
I remember that one. Also, this one. This was a fake that leaked, or not leaked. Somebody made this fake, and this ran around, and everybody thought this was real because this is pretty awesome looking. This fake right here.
It looks like a Vita almost.
Yeah, but obviously this never ended up happening. So it's possible that this Nintendo patent that we just saw is gonna be nothing. It's also possible they take ideas from this and put it into something else. So don't get your hopes up too much, but it's interesting to see what could be with the next Nintendo console. I think that this right here is the best picture because it shows basically just a DS, just like a new looking 3DS.
Yeah, that's a pretty good looking shot there. I mean, that's essentially what my thumbnail was based on.
Yeah, I used this for the thumbnail for the Wolf Den podcast the other day.
It looks a little clamshelly and chunky, which almost looks like we're going back a step. Like the Switch does look quite nice and newer.
See, that's why I don't think this is a potential for a mainline Nintendo console. I think if they were to do something like this, it would be a smaller DS-like handheld. I think that could be really useful for them to be like, I don't think this is something that Nintendo would ever do, but imagine if they were like, hey, we closed down the 3DS eShop. Here's your new Nintendo account system with all of those games that we took off of the 3DS eShop. They're all available here. If you bought them before, you can just re-download them on this device that we've created. And this will also play low-powered games like Celeste and Dead Cells and stuff like that. That would be really cool. I don't think Nintendo would ever do that. It would also be really cool if you could just rock this thing without the top screen. Just have half of it, because I don't need all of it to play my Celeste, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. The more we talk about it and the more you talk about stuff like that, the more I don't want that. It's a little too quirky. I don't know. I kind of just want a console that plays games. Like, I'm okay with the Joy-Con thing because, you know, you like take them off and like, but it's not like I don't use that. I don't often hand a Joy-Con to someone. I don't really need to separate my screens.
Yeah, no, that's like a cool feature. That's another thing is that developers have to develop for that. So like, one great thing about the Switch is you don't need to develop for the Joy-Con.
That is true. Yeah,
you just now, make the game.
Back to the Wii U dilemma of like,
exactly.
Batman came to the Wii U, so the Batman devs had to find a use for the bottom pad, and it was like the inventory screen, and they had to develop it, and it's so much extra work.
Yeah, and I don't think people want to do that.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Which is why this can't be I don't think this could be a mainline Nintendo console. Like, this is not a replacement for the Switch. It can't be.
You know what? You might be onto something.
If it was a replacement for the Switch, Nintendo's not selling as many as they did the Switch.
No,
I got
you might be onto
you.
something. I mean, again, they might not even make this, but if they do, it might just be a little Bobo guy.
A little Bobo guy. Yeah, who's on board?
I mean, I don't see what else it would be. I don't think it's a good idea. But...
I think it's a great idea.
Okay, well,
what could possibly go wrong?
Nintendo obviously maybe thought that too, because they've made something here. How do you dock this thing? I don't know. Again, I don't think this is a thing. I don't think it's a dockable Switch 2 thing.
It shows the bottom mechanism. This I think is the bottom USB-C port, but it looks kind of like a dock, but I'm pretty sure this is the bottom USB-C port. So
I guess it does have something there.
Potentially dockable. And I don't know what the hell this is. It's got springs and stuff.
I think it's like the inside of the hinge, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I don't see the USB-C port. So
from the reverse.
Right. You must be right. So yeah, I don't know if it'll actually be dockable, but it'll be USB-C at least, which is great. I love that everything's going USB-C now. I got a lot of USB-C stuff.
I'll throw a poll in chat and ask them what they think. What should I ask them?
Eric says, no way this is ever coming out. Fuck you, Eric. How about that? Why don't you support me?
Is this...
For once in your life.
Is this patent the Nintendo Switch 2?
Tyler says, what if this is an attachment piece for the Switch we already have? That would be kind of sick, but how would it attach? It needs to have those sort of connections on it.
I mean, yeah, after we had the conversation of 2 screens and now they're going to have to develop for that, unless one screen's just dead while you're playing a game that doesn't have support for it, which just seems really cheap, it just doesn't seem like something that can be a Switch 2 or the successor. It has to be a little Bobo guy or some kind of like a Switch maybe or something. Like it's like for this current Switch. I don't even know how that would work because it's still 2 screens.
Yeah. It'd be a fun little side piece, but I think people will be just as confused as they were with the Wii U.
Is it a reimagined 3DS maybe? It's going to have backwards compatibility for all those 3DS games or something?
That's what I'm imagining, a reimagined 3DS. But like, where does it fit in the market?
What if it... I don't know, man. What if it was a reimagined 3DS that also took Switch games? And sure, half the screen was dead during that, but like, you know what you're getting at that point. It's kind of like connecting those 3 libraries, DS, 3DS, and Switch all on the same console. That'd be kind of cool.
What I'm Eric gave us $5 to show that he supports me. See, that's my man right there.
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
What was it Nintendo that just said they were trying to close the gap between the previous generation and the next generation? Like they're trying to make it so that there's no like dip in sales.
Yeah.
You see it with like Microsoft and in some sense Sony. They're trying to make it so that their games could play across platforms so that you don't feel pressured to buy the next console. So this could be that. This could be a way to give us something new without giving people buyer's remorse, but I'm not sure.
What if it was a design they had for a 3DS back in the day, or maybe they're getting ahead on like Analog Pocket and people like that do these like consoles, and they're kind of just coming up with patents for like what they might do and just getting rid of them.
There's a lot of demand for little tiny Bobo guys, you know? But yeah, it could be them seeing all of these little tiny Bobo guys coming out from these Chinese manufacturers and Analog and stuff like that, and deciding we need to protect our IP against all of these devices. But I don't think they would have expected any of these devices to want to have two screens that magnetize to each other. That doesn't really make much sense. Bob, is there a card slot on it? It did not show a card slot. So that also could be potential for not the next generation of Nintendo. Could be a little Bobo guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think this through with any other possibilities and how it would work as a Switch 2, and I just can't come up with anything. I think it'd just be a bad idea. But if they can make it work, I think the concept is cool.
I'm imagining that it's something that will play some Nintendo Switch games, but not everything. If something's too powerful, maybe it won't run on this thing. Because again, it has two screens, so it would have to be pretty powerful.
Yeah. I think Nintendo are just addicted to doing something wacky and gimmicky. They can't help themselves. And I think the Switch's gimmick was pretty wacky, but it worked. But now they're like, we got to outdo that. I don't think they would be happy to just release something similar that's more powerful.
For a company that makes so many wackies, they must have like a lot of wackies that we don't see. And this is just one that made it far enough to get a patent. So there could be another wacky coming.
Like you said, they patented that oval looking thing and that never eventuated. So we'll probably never see this, but hey, maybe we'll cut back to us watching this podcast in a year from now, laugh at us thinking this will never happen, and then now it's the most popular console.
Eric started a trend. We got a bunch of super chats now. We got a dark type with the piss emote. Is that mine? Is that from my channel? Where'd you get that?
Yeah, I stole that from you.
Oh, is it part of the Nontendo channel now?
Yeah.
Oh,
he became a member, so now he can use them.
Oh, very cool. And 1995 Poppy with $5. I feel like we probably would have already heard about the dual screens when it was privately shown at Gamescom, so I doubt it. But the thing is, we never heard from a developer.
No, I think he does have a point. We heard a lot of little things about the Switch when it was shown off, but dual screens wasn't not mentioned.
What did we hear? What did we hear about the Switch?
We heard that it had like 2 slots, one for Switch games, one for the new. There was something about the screen.
We didn't.
We heard it. We heard a few things.
No, we heard that it was all digital, and we heard that it has a cartridge slot. We heard both of those things.
No.
Yes.
You don't remember?
We never heard there were 2 cartridge slots.
Yes, we did.
That I never heard before.
Austin John tweeted about it. We talked about it.
And if Austin John says it,
chat. What was it? Whoever that was that did the dono. What was it that we heard from Gamescom? We just heard they were showing it off,
and we heard like some
we heard a couple
wacky
rumors.
Speculation around it, but never like a developer being like, "This is what the Switch 2 is going to be like." We heard about the memory. I remember that one.
I feel like if we heard about anything, and we did, we would have heard about 2 screens.
I'm just saying what we heard from Gamescom wasn't like a definite thing. It was people. We heard they're showing it off, and that's the only definite thing we got out of it.
I'm just saying, if they show it to me and it has 2 screens, I'm not keeping my lips sealed.
The Snack Network with $5. What if it's a Switch 2 accessory to make a DS and 3DS games, Wii U games, and everything compatible with the new Nintendo console? That would have to be part of the patent, wouldn't it? Because like, how does it attach to the Switch?
I don't know if it has to be part of the patent, but it probably would be.
Maybe they made this patent legally ambiguous so that they can make it an attachment. And then
a 20.
Atif with the 20 says he has a Skillshare class.
Really?
Maybe, I think, if I got the right Atif, on how to make espresso at home. Maybe this is a patent for a remote cloud streaming device so you can play remotely while your Switch sits undocked next to you. Think about it. I'd imagine that Nintendo is working on, they probably thought about some remote device because they see Sony's working on it, but I don't think that's something they would really double down on. Yeah, Austin John played it 2 weeks before Gamescom. And then he did Kappa.
That's a little inside joke for my community, and I appreciate it very much.
Oh, because he gets, never mind. Eurogamer has the article on the Gamescom event. Yeah, I know. We read it.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. It's like PlayStation Portable, but for Switch. Yeah. That's definitely what.
You know, the PlayStation Portal comes out like very soon, on the 15th.
Really? I'm actually a little. If I wasn't so sick, I'd be a little giddy at all the cool stuff I'm getting, because there's a lot. I don't know how. I think because we were in Japan or something, I forgot the Quest 3 came out.
Did you buy that, or did they send it to you?
A couple of days ago, I was like, "Oh wait, that came out," so I ordered it. So that got here today, and I'm excited to check that out.
Let me know how different that is.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm a big fan of VR. I got this Lenovo, and now this PlayStation Portal, whatever the heck it's called, comes out in a couple of days. I got a lot of tech this month. We did a lot of tech videos.
It's tech season, baby.
Yeah.
I have some Ein devices that are sitting in my PO box that I gotta do videos on, but I
don't know what that is.
The Odin, remember the Odin that you gave to Ham?
Oh, right.
There's the Odin 2 now, and there's these Windows devices that I bought months ago, actually over a year ago, I think, and they finally sent it to me. I think I've talked about it already, but I'd like to make a video on how absolutely ridiculous their buying process is. I have to tweet and make a poll. I have to remember to do this because I want to ask, has anybody ever bought anything from Ein, and are they happy with, have they received it, and are they happy with how it worked? Because I did it and they fucking never sent anything until they realized I was a big deal, and then now they want to send me everything. So,
speaking of polls, ours concluded 82%. Is this the Switch 2? Nah, bruh. So, I mean, that concludes that, I think. I'm glad I put a question mark in the title. I thought it was plausible until we had this conversation. That's why I enjoy talking things through and actually being rational about it.
We got Shadmain with $5. Man, I'm too tired for this speculation. Just woke up. LOL. Here's some money. I'm a peace out. All right, bye.
Man, we're getting so many chats today. What the heck, you guys?
And then Creevy with $5. Mario Wonder or Mario 3D World for Switch game, greatest of all time. I mean, right now I'm knee deep in Wonder.
Yeah, so we'd have to play 3D World again. Does that count Bowser's Fury?
That has to count Bowser's Fury. 3D World is not greatest of all time. Bowser's Fury is up there.
If it counts Bowser's Fury, I would say that one.
Yeah.
If it was just 3D World, I thought Mario Wonder was pretty good.
This guy, Primify, he's banned in all of my platforms because he just keeps spamming when's the giveaway.
Oh, you can ban him. You can ban him.
No, he keeps giving us money, so just let it ride, baby.
Speaking of, I don't think Hannah ever reached out to the winner of the.
No, we did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes, it's all.
I saw a tweet the other day.
Yeah. So the guy who did the contest for getting as far as you can in Mario Wonder. We talked about this already on the podcast. Turns out you get locked. You can't go any further than a certain point in the demo for Mario Wonder. So the first person who told us that got $200 and a t-shirt. So
I saw someone comment when we announced the winner on the next episode. They were like, "Oh man, I was really hoping to get a couple weeks at this." I was like, it was the first. We said the first person. It was as soon as someone did it.
Yeah. As soon as someone got us the furthest.
What were you waiting for?
Yeah, I didn't want to change it to like who can get the furthest the fastest, because that's not what we set out. That's not what we said. If we said that, then sure, but that changes the giveaway. So if that guy in the chat wants the giveaway, he should have fucking beaten the Mario Wonder demo then. Anyway, what do you want to talk about the Lenovo? Might as well.
I think it's more on topic than the iPhones, but it's up to you.
Yeah, let's dive into that, because we were just talking about all the cool stuff we're getting.
All right, I'm just plugging this bad boy in because it runs a little better when it's on charge, and I want to show.
I'm assuming, it eats up battery, because they all do. Even the Steam Deck does.
You know, I haven't done a test yet where I run it off battery. In my experience with the ROG, when you have it plugged in, it pushes it more. Like when I was trying to play Elden Ring on the ROG, if I did it not on charge, it would get really sluggish. But on charge, it would chew through it. So
you were talking about how the ROG Ally has like a turbo mode and stuff. So
yes,
what that does is it just runs more power, and it runs the fans up and stuff. So plugging it in just runs it, as much power as it can handle. So you could do it on battery. You're just only going to have like 45 minutes of battery. Let me show you the screen here.
For audio listeners here, I'm just...
he's just gaming on some Lies of P here. How is Lies of P?
It is awesome, my guy.
I want to try it.
I had interest, but I wasn't super interested. Like I never liked Dark Souls, and I recently obviously got into Elden Ring, but this looks more like Dark Souls because it's more linear. So I was like, I probably won't like it. I got addicted to it yesterday. I actually think it's really good.
Yeah, it looks really good. I like the idea of it being Pinocchio.
Yeah. So not to review Lies of P right now, but yeah, you play as Pinocchio, and Geppetto's creations. He made a bunch of puppets, and they've all kind of gone rogue.
Oh, so Mega Man.
Yeah, and you have to go around and kill them.
Show the controllers. Yeah.
Right now I'm using these. I just focused on the screen. I apologize, but right now I'm using these Joy-Cons, which I probably shouldn't call them that. They're a little ridiculous. So this one. The left one has two back buttons here, vertical to each other, and then it has like a shoulder button, a trigger, and that's pretty normal. This one has a really long shoulder button here that is two different ones here and here. Then it has another bonus shoulder button on the side near your palm.
Oh.
And the back, they're not vertical. There's adjacent, and here is a scroll, like mouse wheel, that has a click and it scrolls.
So have you tried the mouse mode yet? I'm very interested in that.
So like if I was to scroll the mouse wheel right now, you can see it scrolling this menu in the game.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is actually really interesting. I've never thought of that before. So when you're holding it, the mouse wheel sits right here on your finger. I'm sorry so much this is out of focus. But anyway, this is Lies of P, which is running right now at let me check. I'll make sure I'm not lying, because I did a lot of adjusting these settings to get it to like the perfect. So this is at the full resolution.
That's ridiculous. It's insane.
Flipped.
It does not need to be at that resolution. Look at how small. I mean, it's a huge screen, but 1440p is a little ridiculous on
it. But I will say it looks very clean, and if you put it down to 1920, it does get a little artifact, just a little, just because the screen it is that size. So what it'll do if you make it 1920 is the game is going to be smaller, and then it just stretches it up, which even on a screen this size, it does lose a little bit of fidelity.
You need to do half so that it's scaled properly. If you
Um,
do it to 1080, it might not be a good scaling. It might be a little off. So to get rid of the artifacts, you'd want to do probably exactly half the resolution.
this is going to come across a little blurry because you're watching through Discord. It's not going to be as clean as a recording.
I mean, it looks
But I'm
good.
telling you, this to me looks. I mean, it looks at least 1920, if not pretty close to 1440, and this is 60 frames.
That is a
Um,
16 by 10 aspect ratio. Yeah, it's like it looks kind of squarish.
which is it's crazy, and this screen is huge. I'll grab a Switch in a second and do a comparison.
High Surf says 800p. Yeah, that should be the if you want to get some better frames out of it, drop it down to 800p.
I mean, I'm pretty good with 60. I mean, it like bounces down to like 50. But I
That's
mean,
insane that it's capable of that.
yeah. So I tried a few games and I wasn't getting these results on all of them. I'm baffled at this one just because of how good the game looks. There's some areas
Yeah.
with reflections and like water that has reflections in them, or just like good lighting in general. I'm gonna die here. I'm stuck in a corner.
I'm blown away because that means Lies of P is very well optimized, and I thought that was that's from a developer I've never heard of before.
Look at the load time here too. Now that I died, I'm like right back in the game, which is awesome.
It's developed by NeoWiz and Round 8. Yeah, I've never heard of them before.
Oh, also the frames are gonna look pretty bad. Hold on, because I've got this set to. Well, I guess not bad, but my camera's frame rate was set to 1/40.
It looks good.
Go up to 1/20 and just move around a little bit. So I tried Alan Wake, and it needed a lot more power than what this could give it, but I did get it to be playable. It just didn't look very nice.
So how did this run on the Ally, on the Asus Ally?
I have not tried this on the Ally yet. As soon as I got it on this, I got addicted to it and couldn't stop.
I'm interested to see how this compares. I think Carrie. God, I don't want to mess up his name. Carrie, whatever the hell he's doing, the Fox. He's doing a.
So that's it
video.
next to the Switch for a comparison.
Oh my god, dude!
I know. It is actually massive, dude. It's insane, but it's very clear, very bright. I don't know if it's OLED. It's just called QHD.
Yeah.
I also put GTA 5 and Witcher on here, and I was running them both at the full 14, whatever the full resolution is, the QHD resolution, all on like ultra. Like, well, okay, no, I lie. GTA 5 was all on ultra. Anything I threw at it for GTA 5, it worked. It like didn't slow down the frame rates at all. Witcher, I did have to turn off some things because you can get crazy with Witcher. They've added a lot of post things. But I had it looking incredible and running at 60. And I even loaded up Cyberpunk. Everything has to be on low for Cyberpunk. Still looks pretty decent, and I had that running at about 30. It dipped below a little. It dipped above a bit. I would say playable, not my favorite, but playable, and probably better than what I've seen maybe anywhere else except the ROG Ally.
So Fried Biscuits in the chat says, but here's the main question. Can it play Valorant? And I'd imagine it can, but that's why I want to know how the mouse mode works. You know, how the right Joy-Con can... there's like a base. I don't know if it comes with it, but there's like a base that you slot it into and you move it. Yeah, you move the whole thing like a mouse. It's like a gun that you like slide around on your mouse pad, and you could play Valorant with that. And you get 144 hertz out of it.
I would be down to try that later.
You got to make sure what setting does Valorant need from the BIOS? You need to turn off like fast boot or something.
I think I threw it away. I don't know where it is.
Oh no.
No, I didn't. I don't know where it is though.
So
yeah, I saw that. I was like,
it should be a little plastic piece, yeah. Like a flight stick? Yeah, it's kind of like a flight stick, but it's literally turns the right stick into a mouse. I'm interested to see how that, because that's one big difference between this and all of the other PC handhelds is that using a mouse kind of sucks. But then I guess you got to carry this thing around with you.
It came with a pretty nice case, actually. Which
thank God.
I want to say too that a lot of people are like, well, now you're really removing the portability aspect of it. Or I don't know if you want me to go grab the Steam Deck and do all of that, but God damn it, let me do it so I can make my point.
Why? What's your point?
My point is it's not actually that much bigger than a Steam Deck. The screen is way bigger because there's more space for the screen to exist.
The Steam Deck is massive. The Steam Deck is huge.
It has a lot of wasted space.
This is also huge. PC handhelds are very big. They need a lot of power. So
yeah, my point was going to be, if you think that this isn't portable, or like we're getting to the point where it's not portable anymore, but you have a Steam Deck and you find the Steam Deck portable, it's not that different. So that was a bad reveal. It is really not that different. They are essentially the same size.
It's taller, but I mean
it is a little, but not by much. The reason why the screen can be so much bigger is look how much wasted space there is. Well, not wasted space, but used space here on the controller element. This is much thinner. So they've just brought it out more, and it is a little bit taller. You're right.
So I had a fun idea where I wanted to take apart a Steam Deck and make it into a laptop where the bottom where the keyboard would go on a laptop is one of the fight pads that I like so much. So it's like a laptop and you open it up and there's a little fight pad. So there's potential for the Lenovo Legion Go to just leave the Joy-Con off and just carry around a fight pad. So you have a much smaller or I guess lower profile device with you if you don't want to carry around all of that stuff.
This it?
That's the mouse thing. Yep.
I don't how does it work? I can't make it doesn't like move in there. Or do I go this?
Well, I think you got to turn it around. Turn the whole thing around. Yeah. Hold it so that the buttons on the back are on your index and middle finger. You know, the two vertical buttons where they're like, why are there vertical buttons? Those are for your index and middle finger when you're holding it like this.
Index and middle finger. I don't know. I don't
Do you know the buttons I'm talking about? The buttons on the back?
These two here?
Oh, those are horizontal. Is this
Do I have the wrong one?
Maybe. No, it's got to be the right one.
I thought it was this one because there's some stuff on the bottom here, like a little sensor.
Yeah, no, that's the mouse.
I thought it was going to like move around in here or something.
No, you slide it like it's a mouse. Yeah, like that.
It's a mouse.
But you're supposed to hold it like a flight stick. Also, his camera's flipped, by the way, if in case it looked weird to everybody.
I feel like it's got to be like this so I can put this finger on the scroll wheel. But
I'll pull up Dave 2D's video.
It doesn't feel right. That's so weird. How does it know that there's a switch here? Maybe if I switch it over.
Go to the desktop so you can, oh God, I'm playing sounds.
Switch to FPS mode. Yeah, it said it. Oh,
it's moving.
Oh, as soon as I did that, it like snapped in like it's magnetic.
Oh.
It was not doing that before.
The magnets turned on.
That's so weird. Oh.
I just want to know which way you hold it. I'm pretty sure the part with the connections should be
this is
in
interesting.
the back.
I could play Valorant like this. That's so weird. I have to use this to move around.
I want to see how he holds it.
It's essentially a mouse now. Oh,
I don't know
way?
I don't know if that's the right way though.
Oh, I guess that makes sense because now my thumb is on the scroll wheel.
Was he doing aim lab like that?
Oh, that's why this comes down all the way down here. Because this is my click.
Those are the click. Okay.
That's why it has that really long shoulder button.
There you go.
This is wacky. So yeah, now my index finger is on this bottom one. My top finger, my pointer finger. Wait, is this my index finger? Which one's the rude one?
The rude one is the middle finger.
My middle
it's in the
finger
middle
is
of your
here,
hand.
and my index finger is here.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you got your 2 clicks right there.
Yeah, and then I got a scroll wheel here at the back. Yo, this is freaking wacky as heck, my guy. Oh, and I can click the top one to attack.
That's awesome. What games would benefit from Call of Duty? You get the left, you get the best of both worlds. You get mouse, aim, and all of the buttons, and you get still movement with the left stick. That's pretty cool. For Valorant, you would need to plug in a keyboard.
I'm gonna have to try. I have to do something with it, or like even I don't know, The Sims or like RTS games.
Yeah, this would be a good case for having one of those half keyboards.
This is really. I mean,
so you can have a little small mobile Valorant setup.
I don't know how practical it is, but it's very unique and very interesting and almost very Nintendo in wacky. I kind of like it. I kind of like the idea, at least.
One of my issues with the Steam Deck are the touchpads. How like that's their like solution to PC games that don't adapt well to a controller. The touchpads end up being useful for other stuff, but Lenovo figured let's just give everybody a whole mouse. So that's an interesting way to do it.
Also on this mouse, I'm blown away by how it got magnetic all of a sudden. I swear to God. Hold on.
Maybe it's
Did you see that?
Turn it off. Turn it off and see if it still does it.
Okay.
It does it.
It like I swear it wasn't doing it before.
You just held it. You turned the whole thing around and it fit better.
No, I'm just dumb.
You found the magnets.
I'm an idiot. It's okay. Also, on this right one, there is a Steam Deck trackpad. It's much smaller,
right,
but it does the exact same thing where like it has the feedback where you can feel it rumble when you touch it. And here, I'll cut back one more time. Sorry, I keep doing this. I feel like it's not good podcasting, but yeah, it has really good feedback. It does the same thing. It has a little bit of a scroll to it. It kind of acts like a D-pad too, because it randomly attacks. I think just in this game, it's a little wacky.
So one thing that Steam does very good with the Steam Deck touchpads is that you can map them to basically anything you want. And you can make them act however you want for any game that you want. So when you open up a game, you can change the settings for the touchpad for that specific game, and it'll act different depending on whatever game you want. That's something I don't know how Lenovo would achieve. That would have to be like done in Steam or something. So I don't know how useful the touchpad would be, other than just navigating the desktop when you're trying to download games. Do they have a launcher?
Yeah, they do. It's cool, but a little annoying because I can't get rid of it. It's just always there.
Okay.
You want to see it? I'll show you.
Is it like the Asus Armory Crate? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's similar. So it'll keep. Oh my God, it's being a mouse again. It'll keep all of your library of games that you've downloaded in here. You can even go to like a game store, and it has its own game store, which I thought was interesting.
That's interesting.
And it has prices off of things, yeah. Sometimes, depending on the game, it'll redirect you to the website
that makes
where
sense.
the game is from. Being a little laggy now, but yeah, I'll say that there are so many of these handhelds that Bob and I keep getting. The only ones I've cared for are the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally. Like, when I first got the A and Neo, which was the first time I'd ever had a powerful handheld console be put into my hands, I was blown away. Like, that was a magic moment. Nothing has ever recreated that moment, honestly, just based on the feeling of like, oh my God, I'm playing Red Dead 2 portably. Like, I remember being absorbed in that for hours as soon as I unboxed the thing, because I was like, I couldn't believe it was happening. I felt like I was in the future. The console itself kind of sucked. But what it could do was cool. The power of it was cool. It wasn't until the Steam Deck that I was like, oh, now I have something that I will actually use. Like, this feels quality. It's integrated in my Steam library. Everything just works. It's not convoluted. Then the ROG Ally came out, and I was like, oh, if my Steam Deck struggles on anything, this bad boy is here for me now because it's able to do more. This, go on.
Yeah, my angle is the ROG Ally is already great, and I like it a lot compared to the Steam Deck. This has almost the exact same internals as the ROG Ally. So for me, it comes down to how good is the firmware between the two? How good? How is it Asus that's the reason that the ROG Ally runs so good, or is it actually the hardware? And can Lenovo achieve the same thing? And it seems like it's relatively similar if it could run Liza P that good. But again, I'm waiting for some benchmarks to show up. The other angle is the screen is a lot bigger. So how much am I going to want to play on this bigger screen versus my ROG Ally? That's the two things that I'm most curious about. And the third, I guess, would be that mouse. I'm just curious how that works.
Yeah, so for me, when it comes to like, am I going to use the ROG or am I going to use this? I do get a little nitpicky about like, end of the day, no matter how one feels, even if one's more comfortable, and I actually kind of think this is more comfortable than the ROG Ally, just because these Joy-Cons have so much wrap and like beef to them that it's quite comfortable to hold, and they weigh about the same. What it really comes down to, even comfortability aside, is which one's going to do it better. Which one's going to run a game more frames and look better. Because at this point, if I'm playing on one of these, that's all I care about. And in my light testing so far of quite a few games, they're pretty comparable, except this one is able to do that higher resolution, that higher frame rate, and the screen is bigger. And every time while comparing, I go back to the ROG Ally to jump into a game, I feel that screen decrease. Like, it feels like I've gone backwards to something a little worse, just because I know it's silly, but the bigger screen is very nice. And as I said, because it's essentially the same size as the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally, I don't mind if holding the bigger screen. Like, it's kind of sick. I kind of like it. As long as it still looks crisp and it plays the games well, bigger is better. I kind of believe bigger is better. So I'm going to spend more time with it though, but I'm pretty impressed so far.
So we're both going to have videos on it, but we don't know when.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that.
Let's talk about it. So we're doing sponsorships for Lenovo, and they're sending it to us.
Yep.
And then our pre-orders from Best Buy came.
Yep.
So we're still waiting on the Lenovo version to get to us, and that means our video can't go out until later. But we're like, hey man, we got it. Can't we just do it already? Because we want to put this out.
It was
a
really
possible.
Weird situation, which now I'm kind of feeling more good about the whole thing after spending a day with it yesterday and liking it. But our manager reached out to us both at the same time and was like, this is what I experienced. I knew about this thing. I knew that I'd pre-ordered it from Best Buy.
We talked about it on the show.
Released. Yeah.
And the release date was confusing. The release date's very confusing because multiple sources have different release dates.
So when our manager messaged me and was like, hey, Lenovo wants to send you the unit. They'll overnight it to you. And they want you to do a sponsored video. I was on the fence because I was like, well, I don't like doing sponsored videos like that because I feel obligated to be nicer. And I prefer to give my full honest thoughts. But if I'm going to get this thing overnighted to me, I'm going to get to play with it early. It looks really cool. If it's similar to the ROG, there's no reason why I wouldn't like it. I can take the gamble and just assume that I'm going to like it and get this thing early. So I said yes and signed up for the whole deal. And then literally, and by the way, he said that the video didn't have to come out till December. So I was like, oh, it must come out in December. I'm going to have this thing a month early. Yeah. And then, I said yes. And then 2 days later, I get a message from Best Buy saying my Lenovo Legion Go will be here tomorrow. I was like, wait, hold on a second.
So they told you they would overnight it to you. They told me I wouldn't get it till like the 15th.
They told me, initially they told me they would overnight it. And then after I said yes, Paul came back and said, "Oh, that was if you're doing the video this month. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till like midway through November." So
Yeah, it's
Lenovo
weird.
still hasn't sent a unit to Bob and I for the video. We are both going to have 2 of these in the end.
Yeah,
Um,
I kind of want to return mine if I'm gonna get one from them. But yeah,
I think I'll give mine away in my video. That's what I was going to do.
I had the same experience, except I told Paul I want to look at I want to be able to see the talking points, and I want
He
to.
sent them today. I don't know if you saw.
I forgot. I was half asleep when he
So
said that.
I actually read the talking points. I'm not going
I
to
have
tell you
not.
guys everything that's in there. It's all pretty. Actually, it's kind of you're gonna like it. I think. I was gonna say a lot of it's pretty boring. The first subject is the boring stuff, and then what they kind of wrote in there. So
Okay.
that's kind of like they're already going into it with humor. Like here's the boring stuff, which I appreciate. But one thing I will say is they actually say in there, you have to be mostly positive. They wrote that. But if you have some complaints or some nitpicks or the things you don't like, feel free to voice them. Like, we don't mind. Just keep it mostly positive, which
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, because I got to be honest, there's a couple of nitpicks I have, but for the most part, I'm really loving this thing. So it seems like they're totally down with me working in the confines of a normal video that I would make anyway. And yeah, I'm really glad that I like it, because I actually do really like it. If I didn't, I thought it was a disaster at first, because I tried to play the first 3 games I tried to play were Alan Wake, Lies of P, and what was the third one I told you I tried to play?
Alan Wake,
Dead Space.
Okay. Yeah.
Alan Wake wouldn't even open. It said it didn't have enough RAM. Lies of P wouldn't open, but wouldn't tell me why. And Dead Space would open, but ran at like 10 frames. And I was like, oh no, this is a disaster. I have to review this thing. Turned out that Alan Wake was just an issue on ROG Ally 2. It's just very demanding, and it wouldn't open because it needs more RAM than what both the consoles are willing to give it. I found a workaround on ROG Ally, but the game still yelled at me and was like, we do not recommend playing this game on this hardware when it loaded up.
But you said it ran pretty good, right?
I could get it to run at 30, maybe 40 frames if I turned off everything. Like,
Okay.
the game looked, I wouldn't play it like that. Like, you could, but it looked like the worst Switch port you've ever seen. Like, it was rough. And that was on the ROG Ally, not on this. Lies of P then just started working, and now it works every time. I don't know why it was refusing to open at first, and then it just worked fine after that. And Dead Space also ran like crap on the ROG Ally, and I found out that you have to go into the settings and really mess with them. I had to turn on like dynamic resolution, put most things on low.
Like if you have to do any of that stuff, I'm opening my Steam Deck. I'm not touching a bunch of these settings.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but also with the Steam Deck, a lot of these more demanding games, I don't know how many you've tried, their preset settings are often garbage too. Like Cyberpunk has a Steam Deck setting, like it defaults to it, and it's garbage. It's unplayable. Like, I always have to go into Cyberpunk on my Steam Deck and put it all to low, and it becomes super playable and looks decent still. I feel like a lot of the Steam Deck optimization, the developers have a little bit of an ego, and they kind of want the game to look good still. So they're like, this is almost 30 frames. That's pretty good, right?
Well, part of it is the Steam Deck compatibility. Like, they want to have the verified green check mark. They strive for that. And sometimes there's some regulations they can skirt around, but for the most part, Steam is pretty strict about that check mark.
Yeah, well, they need to be more strict because
does Cyberpunk even have the check mark?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It might not. It might have that weird orange one because of small text or a launcher. I think because it has a launcher that opens before you can play it.
It is verified.
Okay, never mind then. I'm lying. But yeah, I'm telling you, if you ever want to try that one, you try the Steam Deck settings. I have a video on it on my channel when the Steam Deck came out.
I would never expect Cyberpunk to run good.
Oh, it doesn't really run good no matter what, but you can make it run 10 times better on Steam Deck if you don't use the default Steam Deck settings. What I'm trying to say is, for the more demanding games, like any of these newer AAA experiences, you're gonna have to get into the settings and find what works best for the console, whatever console you're on. When it came to Ori, which I loaded up on this thing, I had that going at the full 4K, high fidelity, and it was like 60 frames.
Ori, I used to play on a Microsoft Surface Pro 2 at
it's crazy well optimized.
Yeah, that thing that could run on anything.
Yeah, when I put it down to 1920 and medium, I was getting 120 frames on the Lenovo, which was pretty cool to play that on the go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to bust mine open once I'm done playing with my new iPhone, which we'll talk about in the bonus.
We could do it. We could do it now.
No,
I wanted to get to it.
All right, time. Bye.
You can't just say bye. We have to at least say farewell. Was that everything other than the iPhone?
Yeah, man. Okay. Unless you want to talk about how the Sonic creators want to make it more popular than Mario.
I do kind of. We'll do that in the bonus. Did you have a good Halloween?
Oh, it was great. Yo, we had trick-or-treaters from 4 to 7 nonstop. They started at 4, ended at 7 nonstop.
I know why you did.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was nuts. Almost ran out of candy. I actually grabbed some Tokyo Treat Kit Kats, busted some of those and put them in there. And the kids were like, sweet potato.
Him did the same thing. Well, because we're both sick, we couldn't stand at the door. So we just put a bowl out front and she put a bunch of the Kit Kats in there. We had kids coming for a minute there, and then it started raining and the bucket got filled with water. So,
no,
yeah,
it was
Halloween.
It was nonstop. It was nuts. But yeah, that was cool.
Did you dress up?
No, there were a lot of Marios though.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you, or did Kim and I ever tell you about our favorite trick-or-treater ever?
No.
So we opened the door one year when we were in Texas, and there was this little, like, he must have been like 3 years old, and he was dressed as a little chicken. And the mom was like, okay, say the thing, say what we told you to say. And he just goes, chicken! And she went, no, trick or treat. All right, everybody. Thank you. I hope you all had a...
We gotta say, Gavin Guidry, I always get his name wrong, $5. Just wanted to say, hey, and thanks for keeping me entertained while I draw. Keep up the good work, fellas. That is the guy I bought the comic book art from at Comic-Con. He's a
really?
professional comic book artist watching us where he's making all the new cool shit.
Let's go right now.
Thanks,
so
Gavin.
much for watching.
And Gamer CF 2 pounds. Tiny hands, so out for me, but loving it. I guess they're talking about the Lenovo. They got tiny hands.
Oh, yeah, you kind of need big hands. I got big meaties.
I'll give it a Hannah, see how she likes it. Hey, thanks and bye. Hey now. God. Save that for the bonus.
Thanks for watching. Okay. Comment and subscribe.
Oh, buy our we have shirts. We got do you like the shirts we were wearing?
And rate us 5 stars.
Rate us 5 stars.